Welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. For today's practice, you may want to have around 2 blocks, a strap, and maybe a blanket in which you might start sitting on top. Let's start in Hero's Pose. You're going to have another spinal twisting class. If you're feeling any sort of stuckness in the region of the middle back, the lower back, the spine itself, the digestion, this can be helpful to help energy to flow through. I wanted to share a little bit about the classic book by Don Miguel Ruiz on Toltec wisdom. It's called The 4 Agreements. And to tell you straight out, the 4 agreements are the 4 principles by which to live in order to have a peaceful life, according to Toltec wisdom. And they're very connected to the 8 limbs of yoga. So the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word, which means having integrity, doing what you say, saying what you do, aligning your thoughts, words, and actions, and being consistent with that. And that is so much the practice of satya within the second limb of yoga, truthfulness and integrity. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. Don't take anything personally. Remembering that each individual is acting from within their own sense of reality. So this reminds me of the first limb of yoga practice called aparigraha, which means non-attachment. It's kind of loosely connected, but non-attachment allows us to not be so clingy to what we believe is true. Having space to give the benefit of the doubt. And I think parigraha also relates to the third agreement, and that is don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. If you want clarity on something, on what somebody's perceiving about the situation or thinking about you, ask for clarity instead of assuming that you know what's going on in their minds, because people have all these different narratives layered on top of narratives. So being straightforward. The fourth agreement is always do your best. Always do your best. And that reminds me of the second limb of yoga practice, Ishvara Pranidhana, in which you offer your efforts to the divine. If you are making an offering of your actions to something that you believe is the bigger picture, your sense of purpose or source of itself, then I would believe that I would put all of my effort into it, whatever that looks like today in this moment. We're all working with different things within different parameters, and the conditions change. Our bodies have certain limitations one day, and then the next day, the limitations might be different. So how do you work with what's available for you to the best that you can? So let's practice that in the asana, yoga, physical yoga, and then we'll sit in meditation. Of course, we'll practice breath work, helping us to bridge the mind and the body. So let's begin by checking in. As you sit still, begin to scan your physical body in your mind's eye, noticing whatever sensations are present. Tune into how you feel physically right now. Bring your attention to your breathing, just letting it flow naturally. Sensing the qualities of your breath. Tune into how you feel energetically right now. Now bring your attention to your mind. Observe the content of your thoughts, the activity of your mind. Tuning into how you feel mentally and emotionally right now. Before setting your intention, allow a moment of gratitude to help lift your vibration. So what are you grateful for in this moment? And from the heart space, the strength of gratitude, begin to clarify one thing that you would like to put your attention on consistently in this practice, and thus cultivate more of, expand into your reality. setting your intention, your sankalpa. And in the practice of aparigraha, non-attachment, and being open to all possibilities, not just what the mind knows right now, I invite you to offer up your efforts to something or someone beyond yourself. Choosing individual, community, or cause that you care about. And with that, let's join our voices to create resonance and support of ourselves and each other in practice. Chanting 3 ohms. Inhale deeply. I invite you to continue breathing with your lips closed and invite a deep inhalation through the nose, expanding your lungs, expanding your belly, and using your diaphragm. Exhale just as fully out through the nose. Deep inhale, deep exhale, mouth close. So we're going to begin a minute practice of bellows breath, which helps to cleanse the lungs, enliven the lungs, and uplift your mood, as well as clear the mind. And you can practice it just with your hands on your lap or wherever you choose, or you can add the kriya, or the physical movement of bending your elbows apart, fisting your hands like this. And as you breathe in, straightening the arms overhead, spreading the fingers wide. And as you breathe out, rebending your elbows and refisting your hands. So it looks kind of like this. So finding a brisk pace where you can evenly and deeply inhale, exhale through the nose, a rhythm that you can sustain for a minute, as much as you can. Do your best. All right, so let's prepare for bellows breath. Bhastrika Pranayama, 1 minute. Ready? Begin. Remember to close the lips and only breathe through the nose. And relax, breathe naturally for a moment, and observe how you feel. As you continue to close your mouth, let's begin the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breathing, to calm your nervous system and steady your mind. Sustaining your breath evenly in and out through your nose, create a gentle whispering sound by softly narrowing the back of your throat. And as you listen to that sound, invite a smooth, soft quality, sort of like gentle ocean waves rising and falling. Continue to listen to your breathing. See if you can keep that steady rhythm throughout much of our physical yoga practice. And then please rise to stand at the top of your mat, separating your feet at least hips width apart and parallel to each other. Place your hands behind you so that you can interlace your fingers, or grab a strap between the hands if that's easier to be able to lift the arms away from your lower back. Drop your shoulders, inhale, lift your chest and look up. Bending your knees, exhale, bow from your hips and tilt your weight as far forward as you can balance, relaxing your neck. For a few breaths, stretch the arms away from your lower back, keeping the hands together. Bend your elbows slightly as you lift the shoulders away from your neck. And maybe even gently shake and nod your head to help loosen your neck. You could straighten one leg and lean towards it, stretching your hamstrings, calves, and then switch legs. A few more breaths in standing forward fold, a variation of Uttanasana. Then either place your hands on blocks in front of your feet or your shins or the ground. Press into something with your hands as you inhale to stretch your spine forward, parallel to the floor, arriving in a half forward fold or Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, bow again, dropping your head in Uttanasana. Once more, press with your hands to create traction and inhale, lengthen your sternum towards your front wall, draw the shoulders back, firm the belly in. Exhale, again folds. This time, press down to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward, rise to stand with arms overhead, gently coiling your chest up, a variation of Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, join your palms together at your heart center and pause a moment to re-envision your intention for your practice. Flowing to our first series of sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. Inhale, sweep your arms forward again, coil your chest up, gaze up. Exhale, bow from your hips, then plant your fingertips outside your heels, and inhale, step your left knee to the ground behind you, kneeling lunge, look up. Holding your breath, step into your version of plank pose with legs straight or knees on the ground. As you exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin, sticking your tailbone up, hug the elbows towards your ribs. Inhale, slither your belly to the ground, press the tops of the feet down and coil your chest up into cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips high and back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb and lower your back knee looking up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Root down to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and rise into a gentle back bend in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, join your hands at your heart in mountain pose, Padasana. Let's try this one more time on the second side. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, step the right knee back in Anjaneyasana, kneeling lunge, look up. Holding your breath, step into plank pose. Exhale, lower knees, chest, then chin in Ashtangasana, a back bend. Inhale, slide to the floor, ground your feet, and coil the chest up into Bhujangasana, cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift the hips back into down dog or Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb, lower your back knee and look up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, step your left foot forward and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana with a gentle back bend. Exhale, join your hands together at your hearts. Second series of Surya Namaskars. Inhale, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Press your hands down on blocks, shins, or the floor. Lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to plank, and as you exhale, glide forward and slowly bend the elbows to hug your side ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana. Then choose to lower for cobra or flip the toes here into upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. As you exhale, lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Let's spend a few breaths on this one, moving your body if you need to, like pedaling your feet in place to further warm up the backs of your legs. Tuning into the rhythm you're creating in the breath. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, Finish this exhalation before you walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat, arriving at Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale again, Uttanasana. Rooting down, inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana. Same sun salutation once more. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Take your time to use the entire length of the breath. Exhale, step to plank and lower or float lightly into Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue your own vinyasa through Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. And we'll meet in Downward Facing Dog this time, letting your body be still as you steady your gaze on one spot and rebalance the breath, listening to 3 cycles of breath. When you finish your 3rd exhalation, then walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat. From Uttanasana, inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Rooting down, inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Moving on to our 3rd series of Surya Namaskars, bring the inner edges of your feet together to touch. Preparing for chair pose, bend your knees together to touch and inhale. Maybe graze the floor with your fingertips, keeping your hips that low as you raise the arms. Utkatasana. Exhale, lean forward and bow from your hips. Uttanasana. Press with your hands, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step to plank or float to Chaturanga. Take it through your vinyasa here. When you arrive at Adho Mukha Svanasana, keep your hips leveled and inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, step that foot lightly beside your right thumb, drop your back heel. As you face forward, inhale, rise up to Warrior One. Ride your exhale into your vinyasa. At Downward Facing Dog. Again, keep your hips balanced and inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, step the foot gently beside your left thumb and spin your right heel down. Facing forward, inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale all the way down to Chaturanga, finishing your vinyasa. At Adho Mukha Svanasana, again, be still, steady your gaze, rebalance your breath, listen to 3 cycles of breath. If you're needing to rest, of course, anytime, honor what your body needs. However resting may look like to you, whether it's slowing down, taking a gentler version of a pose, or coming down to your knees in child's pose. When you finish your 3rd out breath, walk or float to the top of your mat. With feet touching, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. With knees touching too, inhale, sit low in Utkatasana. Exhale, Padasana. Let's take that sun salutation one last round. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back or float back, moving through your vinyasa. Linking your movement to your breathing. From downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale the foot beside your right thumb. Spin your back heel down. Inhale, rise to Warrior One. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Take it through side 2 on your own, the left leg. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Pausing in downward facing dog for 3 deep breaths. When you hear the bottom of the 3rd exhalation, then walk or lightly jump forward. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale to Utkatasana. Exhale to Padasana. Now let's separate the feet hips distance parallel again and bring your hands to your hips. Rolling your shoulders down, breathe in and lift your heart. Exhale, hinge from your hips and lengthen your spine as you fold so that it feels like you have a flat back, and you could also bend the knees in order to do that. Lifting your toes, slip your palms face up underneath the soles of your feet, stepping on your palms in Padahastasana. Try to get your toes to meet the inner creases of your wrists so that we can stretch your outer wrists. As you breathe in, lift your heart and press it through the gates of your arms. As you breathe out, continue to fold, drop the head, and if possible, bend your elbows apart to help lift the shoulders up as you soften your neck. A few more deep breaths here. Slipping your palms out from underneath. Choose to either step back to downward dog or take it through a vinyasa on your own first. And when you arrive in downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Keep your shoulders leveled and exhale, cross the right knee to hug your left outer upper arm in a twist. Then straighten the right leg towards your left wall and lower the outer edge of your right foot flexed on the floor for fallen triangle. Spin your left heel to the ground, stack your right shoulder directly above your right wrist, and press the ground away as you raise the left arm up. Stay here or raise the left arm overhead, and or lift your right foot to hover off the ground, and or catch your outer right foot with your left hand and extend the right leg towards the front of the room. If you're feeling warm enough, a variation of a Vishvamitrasana. You got a lot of options. What does doing your best look like for you here? A few more breaths. Start to make your way back to 3-legged downward dog. Left hand to the ground, right leg behind you. Inhale. Exhale, round your back and bend the knee towards your nose. Step the foot beside your right thumb and stay high on the ball of your left foot. Then inhale, rise up to standing crescent lunge. Squaring your 2 hips to face forward, slightly lift your frontal hip bones. Take hold of your left wrist with your right hand, and as you draw your tailbone downward, lift up to your crown and breathe in. Hug your hips towards your midline and exhale, start to side bend to your right. A few breaths here. Inhale, lift the spine as you sink the pelvis. Exhale, continue in this lateral extension. Prepare for warrior 2. Lift your spine upright, spin the left heel down, and align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Open the arms wide. Gazing past your right hand, bend your right knee directly above your right heel. Rotate your right outer hip underneath you and firm the top of your left thigh bone back. Tune into the sound of your breath. Virabhadrasana 2. Extended triangle, straighten your right leg, glide your hips towards your back wall, and reach your right hand towards the front wall before placing it on a block of the floor just to the right of your right shin. Now as you raise the left arm up, rotate the tricep to face the left wall and raise the left arm overhead while spinning your chest slightly to face the sky. Utthita Trikonasana. If you're opting to add a little more core engagement, micro-bend your right knee and lift the right arm parallel to the left. Palms facing each other. Keep tacking your right hip crease towards your outer left foot. Couple more breaths. Utthita Trikonasana. Inhale to Peaceful Warrior, bend the right knee, side bend towards your rear wall. Exhale your hands to the floor in plank. Choose to take a vinyasa or not. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Deep inhale, matching the length with your exhale. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Keep your shoulders balanced and exhale, cross the left knee to touch your right outer upper arm in plank. Straighten your left leg towards your right wall and lean the outer edge of your flexed left foot on the floor as you spin the right heel down for fallen triangle. Stack your shoulders over your left wrist and press the ground away as you raise your right arm. Optional to raise the right arm overhead. Optional to lift the left foot to hover. If your hamstrings are feeling warm enough, optional to catch your outer left foot with your right hand and extend the left leg towards the front wall, a variation of Vishvamitrasana. Wherever you are, committing to your practice as it is, let's give it a couple more deep breaths. Start to make your way back to three-legged downward facing dog. Placing the right hand down, inhale the left leg back. Exhale, round into plank, bending the left knee towards your nose. Stepping the foot beside your left thumb in a high lunge. Then inhale, rise up into crescent pose. Squaring your two hips to face forward, slightly lift your frontal hip bones towards your lowest front ribs. With your left hand, take hold of your right wrist. Draw your tailbone downward. Inhale, lift your crown. Exhale, side bend to your left. Little by little, exploring the range of this lateral extension of your spine. Prepare for Warrior Two. Lift your spine upright, spin your right heel down, and align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Open your arms wide and gaze just past your left hand. As you bend your left knee directly above your left heel, rotate your left outer hip beneath you and firm the top of your right thigh bone back. Let's listen to a few more breaths here in Virabhadrasana 2. Preparing for extended triangle, straighten your left leg. Glide your hips sideways towards your back wall, reaching your left hand towards your front wall before placing it on the left side of your left shin and raising the right arm. Rotate your right tricep to face your right wall and sweep that arm overhead, drawing the shoulder blades both down your back ribs. Spin your chest slightly to face the sky, and if you're looking for a little more core engagement for your obliques, micro bend your left knee and raise your left arm parallel to the right with palms facing each other. Utthita Trikonasana. A few more breaths. Bend your left knee, rise up. Inhale to Peaceful Warrior, side bending towards your back wall. Take a vinyasa or not. Let's meet in a few breaths in downward facing dog. Empty this breath, then walk or float to the top of your mat, bringing your feet together to touch. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Bend your knees together. Inhale, Utkatasana. Join your hands at your heart. And exhale, begin to twist to the right for a few breaths in Parita Utkatasana, twisting chair pose. Now, as you're rotating your chest to face your right wall, tack your left hip back towards your rear wall, keeping your two knees equidistant to the front edge of your mat, making sure you're not twisting at the lower back or pelvis. Optional to come into the arm balance, twisting crow, placing your hands along the right edge of your mat with index fingers pointing at the right wall, bending your elbows towards your left wall, and leaning your right outer thigh onto your upper arms. Optional to spread the legs apart in Ekapada Kundanyasana 1. A few more breaths wherever you are. Coming back to chair pose. Inhale the arms up. As you exhale, rising, bend your right knee in front of you, standing on your left foot. Use your right thumb to cup your right outer hip down as you catch your outer knee with your left hand. Keep the knee bent and begin to twist, or place the left hand on your outer right foot and begin to kick the foot forward towards straightening the leg while you keep your spine vertical. Continuing to twist. As you raise your right arm towards your rear wall, you might look past it. Twisting hand to big toe pose. Parita Uttita Hasta Parangushtasana. Let's stay a few last breaths. On your next inhale, look forward. Exhale to mountain pose. Resteadying your breathing. Listen to a couple rounds of it here. Though you know the sequence already, take your time to be fully present in whatever stage you're in at the moment. Be with your breath in the present moment. Bring your feet together to touch. Inhale, bring your knees together in Utkatasana, chair pose. Join your hands at your heart and exhale, begin to twist to the left towards Parita Utkatasana, twisting chair pose. As you rotate your chest to face the left wall, tack your right hip towards your rear wall, keeping your hips lower than your heart. You might play with twisting crow, placing the hands along the left edge of your mat, bending the elbows towards the right wall. Maybe splaying the legs towards Ekapada Kundanyasana 1. Take your time coming back to chair pose at center. Inhaling the arms overhead. As you exhale, join your hands at your heart, rise to stand on your right foot, lifting the left knee in front of you, flex the left foot. Use your left hand to cup the top of your left thigh, rooting it down as you catch hold of your outer left knee with your right hand, if you want to keep it bent as you twist. Otherwise, take hold of your outer left foot with your right hand and kick the foot forward as you pull it towards you, keeping your spine vertical. Reach your left hand towards your rear wall. Inhale, root into the ground and stand a little taller. Exhale, twisting. Twisting hand to big toe pose. Parita Uttita Hasta Parangushtasana. One more full breath where you are. And gaze forward and exhale into mountain pose. Pause. Observe your body here for a moment. Observe your breath. Observe your mind. Let's come on down to our knees and we'll take a moment in active inversions. Take your choice to prepare for dolphin pose or headstand. Set up the same way. Extend your arms forward with your palms face down. Rotate your triceps downward to spread the shoulder blades across your upper back and move them down the back. Interlace your fingers and place your bent elbows exactly shoulders width apart on the floor, creating an equilateral triangular base. For dolphin, keep your head off the ground and tuck your toes, lift the hips. You could walk the feet forward, you could lift a leg and switch. Stay for a total of about 10 breaths. For headstand, place the crown of your head on the floor. Make sure you don't have any neck issues in order to go into headstand. And then you can lift one leg at a time or take both up. In headstand, make sure that you're pressing the ground away with your arms so that you lift the shoulders up and invite as much space possible in your neck. If you are in headstand, you might add a twist here. Twisting at your waistline, turning your frontal hip bones to the left wall, then to the right wall. Let's meet in child's pose when you're done. When you arrive in Balasana, in child's pose, place your hands wherever you choose and rest for a few breaths. Notice what you're feeling in your body here. As you walk your hands forward, please rise up onto your hands and knees. And inhale, step your right foot to the right side of your right hand, entering lizard lunge. Now I invite you to scoot your left knee back, as far back as is comfortable, so that as you lean your torso forward, you can open up more space at the top of your left hip, top of your left thigh, your hip flexors. Now, if available, you could bend the left knee and backstroke the right arm, whether you lasso the foot with a strap or you take hold of the foot, and you can choose to lower the left forearm on a block or the floor. And decide with your right leg if you want to keep the right foot flat on the floor, scissoring the right hip back, or flex the right foot and splay the thigh open. Let's stay for at least 7 more breaths. Take your time to return to tabletop pose, hands and knees. From tabletop, inhale, step your left foot forward to the left side of your left hand. Try to set up in the same version of lizard lunge as you did on the first side. Scoot the right knee back as much as you comfortably can. Maybe bend the right knee and lean the torso forward. Maybe backstroke the left arm and catch hold of the top of the right foot. Maybe come down onto your right forearm. Choose if the left foot will stay flat or flex the foot and splay the thigh open. And either way, gently scissor your left outer hip towards the rear of your mat as you lengthen your torso towards the front of your mat, sending both shoulders, including the right shoulder, away from your neck. Let's stay for at least 7 more breaths. This time, as you release from the posture, let's meet on our stomachs, lying face down, preparing for our last few back bends, beginning in bow dhanurasana. Really helpful for digestion, stimulating. Slide your knees close together and bending both knees, catch your outer feet with your hands. Press your pubic bone into the floor and keep your knees no wider apart than hips distance. As you kick your feet away, pull them towards you, lifting your knees off the ground. Roll your shoulders behind you and press your shoulder blades down your back, reaching your sternum forward. Look on the ground just ahead of you. Give yourself 5 to 7 breaths in this posture before dropping everything to rest. We're going to practice it 2 times. Rest for 3 breaths. Round 2, the last one of dhanurasana. Slide your knees close together again, bend them, and this time you might catch your inner ankles if you want to add a little more fire to it. Press your pubic bone down. Try to evenly press each foot into each hand. 5 to 7 breaths, dhanurasana. Again, rest for 3 breaths. Last back bend. Let's prepare for locust. Shalabhasana. Slide your knees close together. Spread your toenails onto the floor firmly. Keep your feet parallel to each other. Bring your arms down by your thighs with your palms face down. And as you press your pubic bone and the tops of your feet firmly into the ground, inhale, roll your shoulders back to lift your chest, head and arms. Making sure you're not tensing the neck, lead from your chest rather than leading from your chin to lift forward. If your lower back feels safe, then you can lift the feet off the ground too, keeping the legs straight. You might explore opening the arms apart, and as you roll the fronts of your shoulders back, turning the palms to face forward. If your lower back is free from issues, you can extend the arms overhead with the upper arms alongside your ears, drawing the shoulders back. This is quite strengthening for your muscles that support your spine, strengthening for the lower back as well. 5 to 7 breaths in Shalabhasana. Again, rest for 3 breaths when you're done. Please press yourself up onto hands and knees, and let's take a counter posture in a spinal twist. Thread the needle. With your shoulders stacked over your wrists, step your knees a couple inches behind your hips. Choose to keep both knees on the ground, or like in yesterday's yin, step the right foot out to the right for a little more of a hip opener. If you're stepping the foot out, press the sole of the foot entirely on the ground and align the inner arch of the foot with your left kneecap. Inhale, raise your right arm up. Exhale, thread it underneath your left bent elbow. Rest the right side of your head on the ground or on a prop. Make sure the head is resting on something. Flare your left elbow off the ground and try to level the height of your 2 hips, making sure not to twist at your pelvis or at your lower back. Draw the shoulders away from your neck, and let's stay 3 to 4 more breaths. When you're ready, press up to hands and knees and set up the same way if you can for side 2. Whether both knees stay on the ground or the left foot steps to the left. Inhale, raise your left arm. Exhale, thread it under your right bent elbow. Rest the left side of your head all the way down. Use a prop if needed. Level out your hips. Send the shoulders down your back. 3 to 4 more deep breaths. Let's meet in child's pose once more with the arms extended forward and your hips pressing down to your heels as you focus on breathing into your lower back. Then gently roll your spine up to sit and straighten both legs in front of you, preparing for seated forward fold. Separate your feet hips distance apart and choose to either use a strap around the balls of your feet, flexing your feet into the strap, or eventually clasp your big toes. Just make sure that you keep your spine sort of like a flat back with a slightly lifted chest. Ground your sitting bones and inhale, lengthen up through your spine. The shoulders relax and exhale, begin to hinge forward. Take your time, breath by breath. Sealing in your front ribs, keeping your throat open and your shoulders relaxed. About 3 more breaths in Paschimottanasana. Root down through your hips and inhale, slowly rise up to sit. Let's prepare for a practice of pranayama to help cool us down and prepare for meditation. So sit in a way that you can allow the breath to flow easily where you're alert and relaxed. Nadi Shodhana pranayama, or alternate nostril breathing, is a way to awaken your third eye center, your intuitive center, as well as calm your nervous system and balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain. It's done by resting your left hand on your lap, perhaps in a mudra of your choice. I often use Pran Mudra, which invites vital life force energy. It's like a peace sign, and the palm face up. The right hand is in Vishnu Mudra, sticking out your right thumb, pinky, and ring finger. We'll use the right thumb to close the right nostril, and we'll use the right pinky and ring to close the left nostril when we alternate nostrils to breathe. So the breath is all through the nose, mouth is closed, and making sure you have a gentle quality to the breath. You pretty much don't want to be able to hear your breathing out loud. It's very soft. You might close your eyes and steady your inner gaze at your brow center as you're activating your intuitive center, Ajna Chakra. So let's take 3 cycles of this breath work together, 2 cycles on your own. So empty your breath to prepare. Then hold your breath out. Close the right nostril with thumb. Inhale through left. Hold the breath. Close left. Exhale right. Hold the breath. Inhale right. Hold. Close right. Exhale left. Hold. Cycle 2. Inhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Inhale right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Last round together. Inhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Close left. Exhale right. 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right, 6. Hold for 3. Close right. Exhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Continue 2 more cycles on your own. Take your time to finish at your own pace, then sit, breathing naturally when you're done, observing the effects of that pranayama. I invite you to either take a moment in a version of shoulder stand, whether you take the traditional shoulder stand if your neck is free of injury, or supported shoulder stand by placing a block under your lower back as you lie on your back and lift the legs straight up for about 10 breaths. When you finish counting 10 breaths, gently lower your body to the floor and let's meet in fish pose, where you're lying with no props under your body, flat on the ground, legs straight forward, feet together and relaxed. Then slip your palms face down under your glutes so that your thumbs meet each other. Pressing down with your palms and elbows, lift your chest and tilt your chin back to whatever degree you can. And then stay for 5 deep breaths, maybe exhaling with a mouth wide in lion's breath. And when you're ready, place your body in a comfortable position to rest in corpse pose for a few minutes, letting go of controlling your breathing, inviting stillness and presence in Shavasana. continue to rest a little longer in corpse pose. As you keep your eyes closed, begin to scan your body again in your mind's eye. Feel the aliveness of the sensations and notice your physical state. And start very gently to move your body, like rubbing your thumbs against your fingertips, softly turning your skull, wiggling your toes. Moving slowly and gradually, turn over onto your right side, resting your head. And bring your attention to your breathing, just breathing naturally. Here, observe your energetic state. Notice if anything has shifted there. When you're ready, press yourself up to sit, preparing for 5 minutes, sitting silently in meditation. Gesture your hands in a mudra of your choice, like stacking the palms face up on your lap, thumb tips touching, cultivating neutrality and balance. Palms face down, thumb and index fingers touching, cultivating groundedness. Close your eyes or steady a soft gaze on one spot. And let's begin 5 minutes here. Resting your awareness on your body where you can feel your breathing. If your attention leaves the breath and follows a thought or a sound or a sensation or feeling, observe where your attention has gone. Allow a moment to notice and then gently re-guide your attention back to your breathing. Again, notice where your attention is gone and gently re-guide it back to the breath. Sense now how you feel mentally and emotionally. Stepping out of your practice, how might you integrate these 4 agreements? Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. This Toltec wisdom, written by Don Miguel Ruiz, are tools for inner peace. Now, what's one thing you can offer gratitude for? And with that, rename your intention for this practice. And remember to whom or what you dedicated today's practice to. And together, let's close with 3 ohms. Inhale deeply. Bow in towards your heart center, honoring the light within you. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.